Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to another special edition of Bisimoto Tech Tuesday. Hopefully you're doing well no matter where you are on this beautiful planet of ours. I have all of you friends and family in the different social networks here on IG front and center. To the right of me and your left is Instagram, I'm sorry, not Instagram, but YouTube. And to my left and your right is the TikTok family. And I also have the podcasting networks right below as well. Wagel House, hello to you as well from IG. It's, how do you say that? It's Mary and him. How do you say that problem? Maybe not mess it up. It's Mary and Hyman. Good afternoon to you as well. Ishmael2092, good afternoon. Thanks for the love and the hearts around the Porsche garage. That's a what garage, says the Hagura Racer. Big from Holland. Thank you for joining us all the way from Holland. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, let's see here. The GOAT says Potate Yo. Thank you so much for joining. Dude, I was rooting for you on Netflix, says P Henry001. I guess you were talking about the fastest car thing. That was reality TV. So I don't think they'll ever let a Honda Odyssey win the entire show. So it's good. Speaking of Odysseys, it's Miri is asking where's the Honda Odyssey? It's at my residence in the front yard. So thank you so much for asking. Greetings from Amarillo, says Illustrious Auto Styling, very good friend, Misa, who did the livery on the K3V back there. So he's a very talented chap and was able to kindly help us with the beautiful gauzy style livery. He did it twice, it looks beautiful, better second time than the first time, just did some updates, it's great. So thank you so much. SR Christian, Honda Legend, thank you so much for the kind gesture, appreciate that. Waggle House, all the way from Germany, appreciate that. Caribbean King says, what's good? Hello, baddies. Tia, also, thank you for joining, thank you. Appreciate all the love. Hello, MHMDM, appreciate you. But for me, you won, you're the GOAT, says P Henry001, thank you. I just want to be able to showcase the abilities of a nice, cool Honda. So appreciate the kind words and gestures. The Porsche designs you do are nice as AF, says a Jack1076. Thank you so much. The team is working on something quite special right now. So if you've been impressed with what the team and I have done over the past few years, wait till you see the end of this year. It's going to be bonkers. All right, let's see here. Today, I have a couple of things I want to share with you that's quite important. Might be a dumb question, but how much are tunes compared to a dyno? E-tunes, how much are E-tunes? Wow, okay. Ty, I'm gonna answer your question. I'll get into what I was going to talk about a moment ago. He's asking what are E-tunes versus a dyno? And to be honest with you guys, in my humble opinion, E-tunes are nothing but glorified bass knobs. They really are. And why do I say that? What an E-tune is, for those who are not aware, it is where a tuner has access to logs of your cars driving around town, and then they, based upon knowledge, experience, hunch, provides you a tune. Now, what's the challenge with that? Multiple challenges. E-tunes are not ideal because there's no way you can optimize ignition timing, especially with Honda IV Techs or Porsche Variocams. There's no way to optimize valve timing as well. Because the dyno is a tool that allows you to see power output, and not all cars are created equally, especially with different modifications. Even with commercially available passenger cars, every car has a slight different nuance with the head ports, exhausts, you name it, health, how the engine was assembled, the mileage on the engine, all those things play a role. And when you want to optimize your setup for your driving style and for your modifications, it has to be ideal or set up for your particular car. Tuning, that is, has to be set up properly. So what does that mean? When you're on a dyno, you can do a sweep, look at the power, you can change cam timing, see how much power it created, like, oh, I'm there. You may even go further, like, oh, that's not ideal. Ignition timing, same thing. The best power for cars, internal combustion engine cars, are not at the edge of detonation at all. Some engines are more efficient than others. Some have different combustion chamber designs than others, piston dome designs, all that play a role into optimizing ignition timing and making sure everything is safe. Getting close to knock, which most E-tuners do, is not ideal. So that being said, the only way to optimize a car is to look on a dyno and see how much power you're gaining and not gaining and be able to optimize accordingly. Guessing and driving around on a road, which is not very safe by the way, is not the best way to do it. So I see e-tunes are quite popular because they're more cost effective to some extent. Sometimes they're just as expensive or more expensive than dynos, but there's nothing better than going in a dyno and actually seeing your proper output and not guessing. So I hope that helps, and that explains why I feel that e-tunes are glorified base maps, because it gets you running, but it's not anywhere near optimized. No matter what anyone says, it just isn't. Think about it. Okay. Bro, what's the best advice you can give me if I want to work in the car world, says MHMDM. It's to go and either intern or get a job at a speed shop and see if that's something you would like to do. And when you say car world, I assume you mean speed shop and not work in a dealership. But if you want to work in a dealership, that's fine too. But for what we do, where we're doing a lot of modifications and a speed shop and R&D, the best thing is to get your foot in the door. I don't care if you have to sweep the floor to just get in there, or offer your services free of charge, or even if the place is hiring, maybe you have the spunk that it takes to be able to join a team. Get your experience first and see how it is, you know? Do you know your legend, says Kamar? No, I just know I love cars. I've loved cars for a very long time. I keep trying to push the envelope with our team. So thank you so much for the kind gesture. I appreciate that. BC, do you still have the EF wagon, says K24 Brian on TikTok? Yes, I do. I'm looking at it right here behind me. Right here is the blue V2 wagon, all-wheel drive, sequential gearbox, and a K-series motor. RWB, says Ahmad Faiz on YouTube. And Warrenfella says, hey, good seeing both of you. We have built 6 RWBs in our facility where Nakai came by and did some magic. And then we took care of everything that had to do with making it a lot of fun. Whether it's turbocharging, exhaust manifolds, you name it. We had a lot of fun here with Nakai and the team. Can you talk about your Xbone experience on the fastest car? Your Xbone? I don't know what that means, but if you're saying about my experience on the show, it was great. I made some great friends there. It was a very nice production. It was a hot day. And yeah, it was just a lot of fun filming. I just love filming. And Netflix seems to be a very nice channel. We've done Fastest Car there and also Hyperdrive, which is quite nice. So if you haven't seen that, it's pretty nice indeed, you know? Any advice on making my '05 Odyssey turbo? Says Angel the Mogul on TikTok. Yes, get rid of the automatic transmission. The automatics don't hold much of any power. They're a pain to be able to have everything from torque converter to the clutch packs working together in unison. Do what we do, convert to a 5 or 6 speed gearbox and have a blast. And turbocharging, definitely you have to do it with an engine management solution. It's quite interesting indeed, you know? Okay, so what are the 2 things I want to talk to all of you today? 2. 1, especially if you're in the greater LA or Southern California area, this coming Friday, starting from 7 p.m. to almost midnight, we have I would say, an machine aesthetic 01 event is what we're calling it, or dubbing it, a night of 935s. At that location in downtown Los Angeles, and if you go to the Bisimoto bio on Instagram, you will see the place to RSVP for that. It is a night of music, food, apparel, even a launch of a Bisimoto special Hot Wheels in conjunction with RevSec, who's a good friend of mine, Rod Chung. That vehicle will be on display, and 4 other 935s will be on display there. The feature by Matthew says, see you there Friday. I'm looking forward to seeing you there, brother, as well. It should be a great event. All the cars, I'm serious, there's never been a place where you've had such a variety of 935s in one location. They're all courtesy of Bisimoto, electric, petrol, flex fuel, you name it, they'll all be there. Come on by, it should be a blast of an evening. And once again, to register, go on the Bisimoto Instagram page. In my bio, you'll see a link to RSVP. Come on by, downtown LA, centralized area within San Diego, mid-California, even Northern California, you want to fly in, it's going to be a great event indeed. So thank you so much. Warrenfell is asking if you're familiar with the Grand Theft Online video game. Do you think the game's Porsches, or how do you say, Fieldsters, are accurate to the real ones? I have not played Grand Theft Auto. I've seen some of the video game play on YouTube, but I haven't had the opportunity to play with it. What I have done is play with CSR2, and it's very, very cool. The accuracy is quite grand, but you can add modifications to make it extraordinary, right? So the base is very true to form. Dimensions are impeccable. The sounding is right there. But you can modify them to oblivion and make them superhuman or supercar-like, which is quite interesting. So I hope that helps. Thank you so much, Trey, for my gift, for my gifter badge on TikTok. Appreciate that indeed. So back to where I was going to talk about it. 2 key things I want to talk about. That one is our event coming up, the Machine Aesthetic, that's coming Friday, 7 p.m. moving forward as well. Secondly, is something that has really helped my projects, both EV and petrol, do quite well, and it's this: anti-gravity batteries. Now, it looks like a standard battery, right? This is like a pretty decent size, like a AG51, like a Group 51 setup. But the cool thing about that is this button right here. See that button? When you press that button, that is like a jump start. How many times, and this has happened to me a couple of times with a competitor battery, where either heat affected where the car won't come on, or a light was left on, or I parked it for an extended period of time without using a tender, and my battery dies. I have to jump it. And sometimes I have to carry a jump around or ask people for cables. This has a built-in BMS and built-in jump start capability, so that if your main battery is dead with the 2 poles, the negative and positive poles, you press this button and it jump starts. And the button can also be on a remote, so you don't even have to open your deck lid or your hood to do that. You can just press the button and that's it. Lambda Meta says great products, plus they're out of my hometown of Compton. Amen. They're great products indeed. Same thing can happen with EVs. Even though EVs don't have the need to use it for cranking, low voltage battery is required for all the onboard electronics that are low voltage. The VCU controller is a 12 volt to 13 to 14 volt system. The lights, of course, in the car, the dashes, the gauges, the windows, all the accessories are still required with this. And to even get the vehicle started, to close the contactors for the high voltage systems, still needs a low voltage setup. And there are times, whether my PDU remained on or lights are on the car, that the battery will die on an EV. And instead of me running helter-skelter trying to find a way to jump start my EV, all I have to do is press this battery and this button on the battery, and I'm good to go. So thank you so much, Antigravity, for the technology that has allowed the team and I to make our cars even better. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Hey dude, says Jack Mayhoff from, interesting name, from YouTube. Thank you so much. Mephister says Warfella. Okay, got it. Yeah, I haven't played the game, so please forgive me. I haven't had the unique opportunity to play around with Grand Theft Auto. Maybe I'll download it and have a blast. I think, correct me if I'm wrong, it's available on Xbox, yeah? Anyway, all right. Ezekiel Rizzo from TikTok also gave me a gift or badge. Appreciate the gesture. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Classic Retrofit says, that's super cool, Beastie. We need one for our 914 EV. Please do. By the way, Classic Retrofit is all the way in the UK. These guys have become my new best friends. We're building something very unique this year for SEMA, and it's a twin turbo petrol car. I don't want to give too much away. And they are supplying the electric air conditioning for that setup. Now, what I want to do with these guys too is I'm building a crazier EV this year. I want to be able to use their services as well for that. I have never owned one of my project cars with Cruiser Comforts, and some days in Southern California, I have suffered in the heat in my EVs. So Classic Retrofit, thank you so much for making such a wonderful product across the pond. If you do have the slight budget to help out, I'd love to be able to partner with you on an amazing SEMA project. Team's working away. An amazing SEMA project that's going to really break the internet. So I'll send you an email later on, Classic Retrofit, but thank you so much for being such a great contributor to our amazing community. Tech2sDay, good day to you as well. Thank you so much for joining. Saludos, Angel Rag. Thank you so much. We're on the BC. Let's get onto the EV project, says Classic Retrofit. Thank you for the gesture. I appreciate that. You won't regret it. It's actually a pretty crazy project that'll be launched with Toyo tires. It's going to have these crazy slicks. The wheels from Bricks & Forge are right over there. Absolutely fantastic. And it's a collaboration build between myself and Erosyn from Acronym. And it was designed, Acronym is this big time fashion designer from Germany, great guy. This 935 Tribute is going to be the most beautiful car I've ever built. And for me to have Cruiser Comforts in it, it's going to be really amazing indeed. I have this amazing CAN-based steering wheel. It has a shifter to initiate. It's going to be amazing. SEMA 2025, Team Stacy. Guys, remember earlier on, Does that mean, Stacy, you're coming down from South Africa to SEMA? I'd love to see you, sister. Stacy is an amazing driver and drifter. I met her on the set of Hyperdrive on Netflix. I just told you guys we've done a few shows on Netflix. Hyperdrive was one of them. What a great driver. And I feel like she's my distant relative because we're both from Africa. Even though she's from South, I'm from West. We have that nice camaraderie. And Stacy, if you come by this year, let me know. I don't know if you come with your sister. Hopefully you come with your dad. I miss him. He's a great guy. So thank you so much. I'm starting to build next month, says Big Bird is best. Send us some updates. I love to see it. I love to see some amazing things with you. Hello from Roma, says Angelo Loria on YouTube. Thanks so much for joining. Forgive me, guys. The team's working away on a crazy project build. The same project that we're doing with Classic Retrofit with the petrol kind of engine, with the electric dual condenser AC. They're working on it right now. Working. So we have some really cool stuff on that. 79mm sleeve D series. Oh boy, that's a big bore. You're gonna love being able to go that big on a bore. As long as you can seal the cinders, you would de-shroud the valves and make a lot of nice power. Lighthouse power indeed. Corvos, guess my question is getting cut off by IG. Corvo, please ask away. Fellow engineer, fellow Porscheophile, fellow EV enthusiast, let me know, sir. I'd love to be able to see what you have going. My style is my brand, my good twin Sabra. She says she sees her car. Yep, that's her 997 right there. It's here to get the beautiful Bisimoto treatment. Now, I'll tell you a little bit about this GP3 inspired 997 C2. This car had this amazing pulse chamber from Bisimoto that we built at the old shop. So it's been way over a decade and a half plus even. And it just sounds great, no drone whatsoever, but it was very track inspired. So one thing about Southern California is the officers in Orange County do not play. They will cite you, pull you over, almost impound your car over having a slightly large or loud exhaust. So what Sabra and James, who owns this car, did, they brought it over here, and we have this exhaust system that is like a active exhaust, something you'll see on the newer 991s, 992s, where it has actually 991 mufflers in the corner, something more modern, a lot quieter, a little sportier. And when you start the car up, it's nice and quiet. You can have a nice conversation like we are. But on demand, with a press of a button, the exhaust opens up and ooh, it's track mode. More power. I'll do a video soon on that so you guys can see what it does on the dyno. More power, large sound, crazy sound, and when you need to be tamed, you can press the button again, goes back to quiet mode, which can allow you to have a nice conversation, drive on Orange County without qualm, but when you need to have fun, you press it. And this is all post-CAT, so it's still emissions friendly. So it's good. It's good indeed. Why y'all got a 935 from, says Fred on TikTok. I don't quite understand the question, why or where, or please do tell. Grayson says, BC, come to the shop and visit. Send me an invite. I will be there. I love visiting shops indeed. Panama's in the house, courtesy of Chorborowski. Bless you over there. Team sneezing. Excellent work. Thank you so much. Appreciate the kind words indeed. The blue one looks fire, bruh. I'm going to tell you about this blue one. That is a rare 911. That 911, that blue one right there, is a 1972 single year 911. And it's here for the Bisimoto treatment. You can see there's a heat exchanger right there in the back. It's like a CSF heat exchanger. And you can see a little orange peeking through. That orange means high voltage. So this 72911 is getting the Bisimoto treatment, 600 plus horsepower, 700 pound-foot of torque, EV in a 72 single year 911. Now, why is it a single year? Porsche had this great idea that an oil door should exist right above the rear fender. And I don't think you can see it from here, but you can kind of see it. There's an oil door right in front of the fender. And it's great because the oil tank is right there. And it's a very efficient way to get oil into the air-cooled engine, to top it off, check the level. Unfortunately, people started putting gasoline in it thinking it's a gas tank, and it caused a lot of problems, as you can imagine. So what happened, Porsche eliminated that, went back to allowing you to only fill the oil from the rear engine compartment, and that's it. So that made this car very rare and very unique. And this client, as special as this car is, wanted to have it in such a way that it's an amazing, enjoyable vehicle for him. So he came to us to allow us to electrify it for him, to give it the power and panache that this car deserves without ever having to worry about leaking oil or air-cooled madness or so on and so forth. So It should be a blast and videos to come once it's done. Let's see here. Hey, BC, got any contacts at Rivian or Lucid or other EV development in the Bay Area? The only closest contact I have with Lucid is through Johnny Lieberman, because he knows the owner or the CEO of Lucid. And same with Rivian. I do have one engineer, Matt, who used to work at Hyundai, and we worked together in building a land-speed Hyundai Ioniq. And Matt Trainham has been with, he's been with him for quite a few years, but I think he moved to Detroit, so he's out there. But Kavolt, send me a message if you need some kind of contact I can connect you to. I think you guys can hit it off. He's a great guy. Otherwise, Johnny Lieberman is my contact on the PR side and upper management when it comes to those two brands. Hope that helps. Thanks for the info, man, says Odin Addy. Appreciate that. My pleasure indeed. Damn, says Odin Addy. Appreciate the kind words. Are you hiring, says Michael? We are looking for an in-house videographer. So we're looking for someone who can come on board, capture some content for us here at Bisimoto. We do some really cool things. And all the content you see in all my feeds comes from yours truly, but unfortunately, I don't have the time. It's just very time consuming for me to capture content. Even right now, the team is back there. You can hear them making some noise and hear some voices, doing some really cool stuff. And unfortunately, even though I'm talking to all of you and having a blast with you, they are doing some really cool stuff to this tribute car that'll be launching later on this year. So it'd be great if someone could capture it and showcase what we can do here at Bisimoto. Most of the time you see a car completed, having fun, just absolutely fantastic. But I think there's some value in seeing our thought process, our Gantt charts, our procedures, and putting things together. And I want to be able to capture that. So I do need help doing that. So we are hiring and looking for someone who can take content, videograph, take still pictures, and edit so we can put on social networks for everyone to do well with. Where are you from, nationality-wise, says TSXY on YouTube. I am Nigerian. I'm from West Africa. My tribe is Igbo. So I came to the United States to study engineering and ended up staying, which is quite nice, you know? Leave some likes, guys. We need more of this on our feed, says Auden Daddy. Thank you so much, Auden. I appreciate the kind words. Yes, yes, yes. Leave plenty of likes and hearts, by all means. Okay, let's see here. Where is the most famous Odyssey? We need to do maybe a competition of how many times the Odyssey gets asked. And Turborski, you have asked this question. You're the third person to ask about the Odyssey. The Odyssey is at my residence. Bagged out. I take it from time to time, take the kids to school. It's a great thing indeed. What's a good Porsche to get into a $60,000 expense, says Jeremy Gates. I will share with you, Jeremy, for $60K. You have two cool options. One's much newer and one's a little older, okay? The newer one, for $60K, you can kind of get into a 991.1 natural aspirated, which is fun, raw, but also very comfortable and has that nice big body that looks really modern. You could also get into a 981 Cayman S or Cayman R, which is much newer as well, mid-engine, but instead of a 2+2, it has 2 seats. Or, Jeremy, you can go for what I feel is the most underrated supercar that exists today, the 996 twin turbo. That car is all-wheel drive with a gearbox that's almost indestructible. With a turbo upgrade and a flash, you can get close to 600 horsepower. Much better than you can see on the NSX that most people tend to turbocharge. When I say NSX, the earlier NA1 and NA2s, people tend to get those, put a turbo kit on it, and it really pushes the envelope in terms of price. However, you can kind of peter out at about close to upper threes to low 400s. You can do 600 horsepower on a 996 twin turbo. And those cars look really good. The wide body, the light separates itself from the early Carreras. I'm telling you, don't sleep on the 03, 04, 996 twin turbos. Those things are absolutely amazing. Amazing, amazing, amazing. I love your videos, man. You're a genius, says Rick from YouTube. Thanks for the kind words. I just love cars and I have a great team. Honestly, guys, none of this will exist if not for my amazing team here. No man is an island, and without them, I'm really nothing. So kudos to them. Really helping me bring the visions to light. I really love those guys a lot. Tumbleweed, my friends work at Hyundai. My friends do too. I love that brand. They've come a long way since the 80s. Yes, Cut the Live, says Tuna No Crust Garage. Thank you so much for joining. Tumbleweed says, my cousin's getting recruited for Rivian. Nice company to join. They're doing some magnificent things and really upping the ante with their manufacturing. So I love what they do. The feature by Matthew says, me. Do you need a film photographer? Tombo Leaf. Yes, I do. We're looking for one. We'll put some ads out. So we are looking for that indeed. Not correlated, says Tuna No Crust, but adding a second inverter and another 30 panels to my off-grid home garage build. Very nice. I have solar in my home. I need to expand because now many times I'm charging 2, 3 cars at the same time. And my current solar wasn't set up to optimize that. It was set up for maybe 1 car, if even that. So I'm actually leaving some opportunities on the table. So let me know, Tuna No Crust, how that goes. I love to expand mine indeed. And without having to call LA Solar, I want to kind of do my own thing, which is pretty nice. Shouldn't be that difficult, but I want to do it. I want to do it indeed. If you have any insights, and Kovolt, same to you. If you have any insights, I am down. The grocery getter, his grocery getter is the Odyssey, says Tuna Crust. Yep, lots of fun. Recently, I've been driving a lot of the Honda Prologue. That thing is awesome. So spacious. I prefer that to the Pilot. I really do. It's an amazing car, you know? Whoa, 30 panels. What's the total? I knew Kovolt would say that. So Tuna Crust, he's asking, what's the total kilowatts of your array? He wants to know. He had 24 powers, lost 6 in the windstorm. I'm so sorry to hear that. I think you said that recently. Sorry about that. Do you ever like the Carrera GT? Absolutely. So this weekend, we are at an event known as the Check Engine Light event in downtown LA on Saturday. And across the street was a display, and they had a 918 Spider there, which is the replacement for the CGT or Carrera GT. So yes, I love the GT. I love the analog, the raw look of it. I was actually talking to my good friend, Joe Gatt, about that. Big time actor. He's been in Banshee, Black Adam, Game of Thrones, Dumbo, you name it, great guy. We're talking about that. And I love the technology in the 918 Spider. He loves the old school analog, just feel of the GT. And I find it appealing too. And those things have skyrocketed in value, by the way. So you can't go wrong with either one. The top of the line Porsche supercar from back in the day was GT, CGT. The modern day one is 918. Both are amazing cars. And yeah, I find them quite appealing. I really do. I do like them indeed. So thank you, Velside Promo 32 GTR, for asking that question. Bisimoto, says Baddies Dia, could the choreographer be from out of state, or would they need to be here daily? At a minimum, at least part-time here, because we do a lot of things every day. Being out of state would be very difficult, because you can imagine, even right now, I believe both Jonathan and Nick are like doing some fabrication, and it'd be good to kind of capture that and show what's going on. Yesterday, they were able to do some gussets on the back of the 911 to be able to allow for coilover applications. Today, they're doing some stuff in inside to prepare for a nice 6-point roll cage. There's a lot of amazing things happening indeed. A lot of amazing things, you know? What are your opinion on variable timing? Valve timing, says Adelmo. How do you say Wartco here on YouTube? Variable valve timing is extremely important for an amazing torque curve in natural aspirated and turbocharged internal combustion engines. So just as a backgrounder, guys, camshaft profiles play a role significantly in economy and power. And when it comes to power, especially fun torque, which allows you to accelerate quite nicely, smaller camshafts with narrow lobe separation, where the lobes, intake and exhaust, kind of closer to, wider apart from each other, not narrow, but wider lobe separation, tend to give a lot more lower RPM torque. However, as you go up in the RPM band, that lower torque goes away and you don't have much top end power. The opposite is true. Big camshafts, closer lobe separation, you have a lot of top end power, but your low RPM suffers. You just don't have the torque. Variable cam timing allows you, or variable valve timing allows you to take advantage of both, to eat your cake and have it too. So what it typically does, let's say for the Honda iVTEC in particular, it simulates a small cam with a wide lobe separation at low RPMs. And as you go up in RPMs, the VTEC comes on where it locks a pin and goes to a larger intake valve profile, gives you more lift and duration, making more power, and then the lobe separation comes closer together to give you more overlap and more top end power. So when you look across your RPM band, whether you look on a dyno or driving, you feel amazing power throughout the entire rev range. So my opinion, Adelmo, is that it's a godsend and a wonderful piece of technology that allows us to enjoy our internal combustion cars even better. 996 Twin Turbo says real red for you, who's my neighbor as well. She gave 3 fire emojis. Thank you so much. You have impeccable taste, sister. Yes, it's amazing indeed, you know? Tuna No Crust says co-volt. Current system is about 6 kilowatts. About to double it and enable 240 volt output. That would be awesome. What kind of oil would you use for a turbo S2K that has 150,000 miles, says Dizzy S2K? I would use Pure Oil 10W40. No question whatsoever. Those engines in factory field tend to ask for a 530. However, when you do tend to turbocharge, it creates a lot more heat, which can thin out oils, and puts a lot more demands on your bearings. So that being said, Pure has about 1,770 pounds per million of zinc, so it can protect your valve train quite nicely and keep your VTEC passages very clean, and give you some more power to boot because it's very slippery. It's a very slippery compound. And because it's also E85 methanol compatible, it does not easily get diluted by exotic fuels if you're running such on your boosted S2K, Dizzy. So we have some in stock here. Feel free to make an order online, or better yet, hit up the guys from Purell and let them know that BC promised that you would give them a significant sponsorship discount. Let me know. Hopefully that helps. Camry 3878, thank you so much for joining me. Appreciate you indeed. What is your dream car, says Lambda Menace? It's so weird. Jonathan and I talked about that a few months ago, and it came up in conversation, I think on Monday. A Porsche 917 Tribute built by yours truly and the team with all the creature comforts. You tend to see 917s, the old school 917Ks, 914s, all those. You tend to see those vehicles in their raw format with multiple cylinders, and they are just difficult to drive for an extended period of time because they have no creature comforts whatsoever. They're full-blown race cars. My dream car would be one of those with Bisimoto technology, with heating and air conditioning. With classic retrofit helping, right? Anyway, that would be my dream car. So Lambda Menace, by the way, for those of you who know Lambda Menace, what a great guy and someone who is like a man after my own heart. And what I mean by that is, when it comes to cars, I've always been this crazy racer who just cared about power, not big on aesthetics. Even if I build like the Odyssey, it looks stock, right? It looks factory with just wheels and an airbag system, but underneath the hood is crazy with crazy clutch and 6-speed gearbox, limited slip differential, straight cut gears, pistons, rods, huge turbo, engine management solution, mil-spec harness, but outside looks stock. Lambda Menace, on the other hand, pushes the envelope in performance and aesthetics. He's big on function and form and combines both of them quite beautifully. So Lambda Menace, keep up the great work. I appreciate what you do out there. I notice it and I like it. Okay, I love your Porsche, says Camry N3878. Appreciate that. I love your electric 935K race car. Thank you. It's right there and it will be on display. Forgive me for being redundant, team. This coming Friday in downtown LA. The link for RSVPing is in my bio. Please go ahead and register and I'll see you there. We have a new apparel launch, Hot Wheels 935 Bisimoto, better yet, I'll say RevSec launch, music, food, cars, amazing indeed. So please, please, please come out. Those Porsches are great, says EcoMove 95. I'm sorry, not 95, but 05. Thank you so much for joining and the kind words. Nice, I'll apply, says Tumble Leaf. Please do, we need help. Okay, let's see here. What else am I missing? Let's see. Insights on home solar, says Cobalt. Get lightly used or overstock panels. Same with microinverters. That's a great suggestion. I love the video of your car shooting flames, says Cameron 3878. Yep, that was my thing. My stage forever was with a 996 twin turbo, single turbo, natural aspirated RWBC motor cars. I just love shooting flames. Nowadays, we've expanded above and beyond like internal combustion. We've done electric. Now, if that shoots flames or this shoots flames, I'm in trouble. But yes, I appreciate the kind words and more excitement and entertainment to come, Buy panel used, says Tuna No Crust. You can get used panels about 30 cents per watt. That is dope. I need to do that. But Tuna No Crust says he recommends using new inverters unless you know what to look for with used inverters. So I agree with that as well. What's your favorite sounding car? My favorite kind of car has to be the I guess you mean Moby Dick Porsche. I am partial to 935s, but I also love the sounds of the Ferrari 458. 458 Ferrari sounds amazing. I just love that sound. It's just music to my ears. So thank you so much for doing it. And also, you know the new Rimac? Anyway, I'm not getting to that. Okay. Listening to cam profile explanations is like front pew at church, says no cross. You're too kind. Thank you so much. Okay, let's see. What is your name here? JBT Win 298 on YouTube says, I'm about to put my F22A6, great engine by the way, build back together with new rings. Notice some stuff scuffing on the piston walls. Any main concerns? Also, have an H23 intake manifold. Should I take out the butterfly? So yes, I'll answer those questions. I assume that you have a decent amount of miles on your F22A. And I say at a minimum, you probably have 100, maybe 200,000 miles. Above and beyond the scuffing, those cylinders tend to go out of round. What I do when I build an F22A is I always go a 4mm oversized to clip the bore. So instead of the 85mm bore, I go with an 86. We sell piston and rod combos for the application. So if you're inclined with your natural aspirator or boosted, that would be the way to go. Above and beyond that, what that does is when you go 1mm oversized, you have a perfectly true round bore with the new pistons, and it seals beautifully and gives you all the reliable power you need without smoking. The danger of using slightly scuffed or out of round bores with new rings is you run the risk of having significant vacuum leaks, significant compression leaks, and smoking. So for a small amount, and you don't have to re-sleeve it if you're not making tons of power, you can just bore out the cylinders. It's like 40 thou over, like 1mm oversized, and do that, you know? I purchased the piston rod combos from you. Then if you did, they are out the gate 86mm. Bored it out to a proper bore, clean it up, hone it beautifully with a nice cross hatching, and you are golden. Golden, golden, golden. All right, this guy's ambassador says Tumbleweed. Thank you so much for the kind words. Dizzy S2K, I did answer your question. Purell 10W40 will be the way to go. I love the sound of Porsche 911 GT3. You have great taste. Those sound amazing too. Love that shirt, says Nessus Santana. Appreciate that. This is from a Beeline Coffee Company. I don't think they exist anymore. They gave me this shirt years ago. I just love 935s. So I'm working that today, but thanks for the kind words. And if you really love cool 935 t-shirts, this Friday come out. We're launching a new tribute Moby X t-shirt in conjunction with acronym. Won't be available online, will only be available in person there. Come on out, should be the way to go. Your pink eBay in the back is my dream car, says Velside Promo 32 GTR. Thank you so much. That car was one that I hated building because I didn't want anything to do with anything electric. And I built it and it changed my life the first time I drove in the back of the shop. I almost peed on myself. I almost urinated on myself first time I drove it at half the battery pack. I'm like, this thing is freaking fast and the crazy sound is just amazing. So thank you so much. Changed my life and still one of my most favorite cars in our stable. What is the best sounding Porsche in your opinion? GT3, hands down. GT3, I love that natural aspirated sound, especially when they're converted to like the, let me take a step back. RSR Cup cars. I had to think about that. RSR Cup cars would be the way to go. Would be the way to go. Oh, I see Stance Parts joined. Thank you so much for joining us, Stance Parts. I'm talking to them about doing some really crazy cupcake stuff on some exotic cars we have here. And I'm trying to become a dealer. So in the future, if you guys need any cool lift for your applications or coilovers, let us know. Stance Parts has what you need. What other way we can recommend? 10W40 indeed, Dizzy S2K. That's the way to go because you're boosted and your engine is of decent mileage. Thank you so much for always sharing your wealth of knowledge with us. My pleasure indeed. MBS Garage. Thank you, thank you, thank you. A little bit chilly here. Thank you, thank you, thank you for the kind words. Wonder if I could port it myself or don't mess with porting. JBT, sorry, win. Yes, you can. Even if you clean up the flashing marks on the head. So one thing about the F22A is that port is amazing. When we bench test it on a flow bench, I think we did a super flow bench test, it flowed in a factory format better than most ported B series. So if you clean up some of those casting marks on the side, to get a little bit more flow, play a little bit with the pockets, and then dimple the intakes, you can make some nice power with that, some increased power. The head is the highest potential power on all those applications. So please do with your natural oscillator boosted, play with it. It was quite enjoyable and you will gain significantly. Okay, let's see here. Don't all the F-series block use FRM sleeves as well? Not all of them tune and no cross. As a matter of fact, the only ones I know that do that are the Preludes, the F22A. I think some of the F23s are FRM as well, but definitely the H22s do have that. And we just talked about the S2000, both the F20C and F22C do. That's like a coating, guys, that allows for less friction and increased power. You can see that on some high-end cars as well that Honda did, which is quite nice. The F22A, on the other hand, has the standard impregnated cast iron sleeves, which you can bore up to 1 millimeter oversized without qualm and have a lot of fun with it. So there's no need to have to worry about recoat, honing and recoating sleeves like you would on some of those other high performance setups. I could be wrong, but I'm certain all F-series blocks are FRM. Nope, not all of them. The F22A, the F18A, the F22A1, A6, A4. Nope, they were all standard cast iron impregnated sleeves. Composite sleeves, I'm not educated on this topic, could be wrong. Nope, no, they're not. They are composite, but not on the application that we talked about, the F28. Let's see here. Also, I'm doing an oil change on my wife's K24, says Cobalt, hoping not to have to check the VVT oil screens. Yes, that tends to be VVT oil screens, so it's variable valve timing, which allows the passageway of oil to pressurize not only the VTEC assembly, but also the iVTEC for cam control that we talked about earlier on. That has a filtration screen, because you can imagine if rubbish gets into the passageways, it can render the variable valve timing inadequate or throw some really bad errors. Sometimes gunk and rubbish gets in it. And by the way, it's not too difficult to get to if you have to. And I would advise you to change the seals if you do, just change the seals and screen if you do open up, but it is on the passenger side and it's things like 3 bolts and just pop off, you can take a look. But yeah, just change your oil and you should be okay, especially if you did a good job in keeping your oil clean and changed often, which should be nice. God, time is flying. The H23 manifold, yes, we tend to take out the butterflies and hog those out. I even take the plate that goes in between and then just remove all the butterflies and kind of remove it and make a nice big plenum. But the H23 update, it bolts onto the intake of the F22A and it provides amazing flow, much better flow than the bottleneck intake manifold that comes with the F22A. So yes, you are good. I like the Bisimoto Porsche build. Superb, says Timer Mega. Thank you for the kind words, appreciate that. Curious to know why you guys chose California as a headquarters when there have been so many regulations for motor vehicles, says JBT Win. 288. Well, JBT, it's where I went to school. It's where my parents went to school. Both my dad and mom have degrees in sciences from California. My mother went to Cal State Los Angeles. My dad as well went to Dominguez. My dad studied geology. My mom is a brilliant biochemist. And then since they had a bit of a support structure here with friends and some family in the greater Southern California area, when I came to the United States to go to school, I ended up coming to California as well. When I finished up my degree, I ended up staying because I just love cars in California, especially SoCal is kind of the hub for everything forward thinking with car culture, whether from design studios to street racing, you name it. Despite it being a difficult state to do fun things with, especially with internal combustion engines, this is a place to be where car culture is amazing. I have made friends here that'll last me for a lifetime. The team I talk about, I told you that Nick and also Jonathan's in the back working. These are people who I would not have met if I was in Southern California. And the friendship I have with them is gonna last me my entire lifetime. I've made friends with many of you here. That's because of Southern California car culture. You go to an event, look at what happened this weekend, whether it was the check engine only event with Toyo tires or the Japanese vintage Union in downtown LA, there were BMWs, TVRs, Mercedes-Benzes, Porsches, Teslas, Volkswagen buses. There was, Impalas. There was so much variety. And what brings us all together is our love for cars. Everyone respects each other, whether it's internal combustion, electric, whether it's boosted or high RPM natural aspirated, whether it's supercharged or turbocharged. We all congregate, we all respect each other's creativity. There was a lowrider that drove by, this beautiful Nova, candied with switches and sound. Amazing. Where in the world could I go and have so much variety and so much camaraderie than in Southern California? It's great. So that's why. Sorry, it's a long answer to a short question, but yes, yes, yes. Wheels is wheels, baby, says Ravenous Sid. I concur, absolutely. What are your thoughts on the new Mazda 3 series? I think they're beautiful. I was talking to one of the, Matthew, I missed Justin, but Matthew at the same event of the check engine light that Toyota put together. Matthew worked for Mazda USA out there in Orange County, came by to the event, and I told him one thing I love about Mazda as a brand. If someone closed your eyes and put you inside a Mazda and blocked off the badge on the steering wheel, and you open your eyes and you stand in any of the cars, you would think you were in a six-figure car. 6 figures, 100,000 plus, because the interiors are beautiful. I love the dedication to motorsports. It's very common knowledge that at any given weekend, there are more Mazda Miatas racing than any other model car on the planet. So their dedication to motorsports has been great. They've helped create so many opportunities for us enthusiasts around the world. I love those guys. So yeah, to answer your question, Timer Maga, I love Mazda's engineering, and I definitely love their aesthetic. You gonna do anything else with any Hondas, says Ravna Sith? Yes, today I drove my Honda Prologue. I was at the Honda headquarters this past weekend, Saturday morning. We did a nice video, and I'm gonna showcase the video with you guys. If you haven't seen my walk around the Honda Vintage Collection haul, please take a look. It's like a few posts back from this past Saturday. And I continue to work with Honda, and we're in discussions, which hopefully we can have an answer in the next few weeks, about doing something this year as well. And I'm really chomping at the bit to do something. I'll give you a little bit of a hint, something off-road. I'm also chomping at the bit to play on the new Prelude. So we'll see what happens. Hello to the best, says 8082 Fayette Street. Thank you so much for joining. Appreciate your presence. Missed you earlier on today, but it's been a great journey nonetheless. Also, do you think about Lexus performance cars? From a distance, I found them quite appealing. I do not have a relationship with Toyota or Lexus, and that's the reason why you haven't seen me build any. Whereas you look around me here, there's a Porsches here, there's Hondas in the showroom here. There's a VW over there as well. I have Hyundais. I have these opportunities only because I work with a manufacturer. So Lexus, if you're listening and want to do some fun stuff, I'm down. I'd love to get intimate with your technology and your prowess. It's Glenn, 808 2 Street, it's Glenn. Hello, Glenn, sir. Talking about Pizza Cafe, Glenn is a great friend. I owe him a ride in the Rolls Royce over there that we just finished. I need to get the interior redone before I even have any fun with the Glenn. What a great guy. He was a drummer for Hall & Oates. He was an actor in Hollywood who did amazing things. I mean, you think about movies in the whole Tombstone kind of era. He's just a great guy. Very talented man, someone I love very, very much. Jessica and I love this guy. And Glenn, I need to pick you up. We need to go cruising. We need to go to Wally's. We need to go to 50 Cafe. We need to really, go check out some gilfs with the Rolls Royce in the greater LA area. We need to go down to Rodeo Drive and have some fun. I'm going to see you indeed. Please come to South Africa, says Suleiman Jassad. I've been getting a lot of invites to South Africa. It seems to have a very strong call culture. And you know what, Suleiman? I may take you up on that offer. I heard it's a great place to be, and I need to visit sooner than later. What ended up happening to the red mid-seater Porsche Boxer, says Jaden2977 on YouTube, is right there. It's still here at the Bisimoto facility. As a matter of fact, I mentioned this at the last Tech Tuesday. My goal is to do a nice video series of the 400 plus 50 push-to-pass horsepower center seat. How should I say? I call it Boxman because it's a Boxster 986 with a Cayman carbon fiber roof versus an electrified 450 horsepower center seat Boxman as well. So that being said, what do I anticipate happening? I feel the electric one is going to masquerade everything straight line and autocross. But coming road racing, I feel that the electric will run out of juice much sooner than the red one. But the red one may surprise us. We'll find out very soon. A lot of cool content coming. So if you guys haven't followed me on YouTube, please, when we're done, go on, not you YouTube guys, because you already follow me, but go on YouTube, subscribe to Bisimoto, Bisimoto, if you love everything that we do. If you want something more EV specific, we have EVmoto BC, so EVMOTO and yeah, should be really, really good indeed, you know? So thank you, thank you, thank you. Guys, I'm gonna go ahead and head out. It's almost an hour and I'm starving, but I wanna thank all of you for joining. I wanna thank once again Antigravity Batteries for really coming on board and providing us great technology that allows us to jumpstart without jumpstarting in a very efficient manner, which I love. Also, I look forward to seeing many of you this coming Friday evening in downtown LA for the Machine Aesthetic event, a night of 935s, where we're gonna have music, food, beautiful cars, beautiful people. It's gonna be a great time. And I'll do a live for those of you who are out of the country and cannot attend. But in the meantime, take care, guys, stay safe, and look forward to seeing you soon. Have a good afternoon, guys, and see you next time next week. Cheers. Bye-bye.